Welcome to You First. We're here again with our friend, and you're very familiar with Grace Hao. Grace Hao is an entrepreneur. She is a mother of 8. She is an author, a presenter, a mentor, a coach, a facilitator, and a trainer. And today we are so excited to have Grace with us. There has been a big change in businesses globally. And what we're speaking about today is network marketing businesses and social selling. Grace Hao, welcome back to You First.
Oh my goodness, Maz, it's such an honor to be with you. I've loved all of the shows that we've had an opportunity to collaborate on. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, you are the perfect person to talk about the change in the marketplace, in the global marketplace, being that you have been the founder and part owner for over 20 years of Direct Selling World Alliance. Tell us a little bit about Direct Selling World Alliance and then why you are the expert in this space.
So the Direct Selling World Alliance was designed and created to serve the people of our profession globally. Oftentimes, people are looking for professional development, they're looking for resources, they're looking for how-tos to grow and scale and establish a sustainable business. And that's what we delivered for 20 goodness, over 22 years, 25 years serving people of our profession globally. And then the companies would hire us to come in and they would select elite leaders within their business that they basically chose to have and experience this form of professional development because the people are a company's greatest investment and the people are their greatest asset.
You had the opportunity in the time with Direct Selling World Alliance to know businesses from the inside out. Talk to us about the information that you've garnered from that, and then we'll talk about the changes in the marketplace.
Yes. So it was a fascinating journey. There some brands and businesses, they expanded globally, had oftentimes an array of high quality products that they were making available to the marketplace. And I saw some of the things that I thought, "Oh, that is something you want to duplicate." And then I saw some things that you may not want to repeat. Some of what I recognized as from then to now is if you're standing still, you're behind. There were certain brands that were not quite up to speed on the social selling structures, the influencer marketing, the videography to create compliant assets that people that represented that brand could go out and share successfully. I saw a lot of reinvention of the wheel, and systems are duplicatable, charisma is not. Being able to seed companies that were establishing systems and how they scaled that. Also, a narrow product line. Too many options, too many choices. Confused mind does nothing. So if there's too many options, too many choices, what happens is it requires significant explanation for people that are brand partners. They're looking to share a product, but then people are asking them for the science behind each versus here's a tool, watch this, listen to this. Yes, I know enough, but I don't need to know everything. And those were some of the patterns that I was recognizing. So too many choices, not enough duplication, systems, as
So, Grace, you got to know the executive teams of these organizations, you got to know the owners, you knew these products inside out, and you also are an expert in compensation plans, in business plans. What I'd like you to share is when we are looking, so let's say we're speaking to people that are already in the network marketing business, maybe they've been with an organization for a long time, it's not going the way that they want it to go, or the way that they've been told it was going, and they're not finding that they're getting the results with the same organization. Can you share with us if that person is looking for another brand to align with from start to finish, or if they're looking to have a plus, and what would be important elements to consider?
let's take a look at that. Is it completely unique? So let's say you've got a luxury with an essential, a one-time purchase versus it could be, are you looking for more pop-up and in-person experiences that you're looking to deliver for people you're going to be in front of? Or are you looking to be a digital nomad where you can do business anywhere at any time, from any location, Bali, right? You're very virtual and friendly. That's the choices that we have available. So there's a few things that I look at for the and. Is it completely unique or are they comparable? The decision is yours. Completely unique from each other or comparable. What methodology? So what is the compensation? What does that look like? Is this subscription-based business or a one-off purchase? That's also a consideration when you're thinking of the and. Your network. So what would be appealing? What would really draw your connections? Does one speak over the other? Are you having people having these conversations with you and saying they're interested in that, you don't have a solution to offer them? That is where the end can play a significant role, because one thing is not always a fit for everyone we're going to be connecting with. So keep that in mind for the and possibility. The other thing is, I look at your experience. If you have experience in this profession, oftentimes you can replicate that over and over and over again. So I was asking actually one of my mentors this. I said, I'm curious, what are some of the reasons that most people don't consider and that was, I think, historically, you had one build because you were in front. You were in front of a lot of people, and had a front-facing business back in the day. Whereas now, with the way the world is working and social media and more of a digital deliverable, drop shipping products, you no longer have to hand them off or deliver them yourself. That creates space and room for people to do the end when it comes to more than one option and more than one business. It's like the ultimate multiple streams of revenue.
Absolutely. So the and is, for those of you that are listening that are already in network marketing or are already aligned with a brand, what Grace was saying is there something that, if yours is a one sale, is there something that you can bring along with that so it is consumable? If it is a luxury item, can you bring an everyday element in there as well? And what Grace was saying is, with your experience, you already have experience in the profession. One of the things that I'm really passionate about is growth. Things have changed so much. Grace started to talk about front-facing businesses and now using social media. And the lovely thing about having this is that you've got the opportunity to create social media accounts that are faceless. And what we're seeing with faceless social media accounts, they are getting huge uplift. And when we have niched our market, when you know clearly what your niche is, clearly who you're speaking into and who wants your brand, and you stay on that in your social media, you'll find your people and your people will find you. And then not only are you giving them the one, you can also give them that and.
What that does is that creates a diversification. It could be an aspect of your strategy. One person, they may gravitate towards health and wellness. Another person may gravitate towards more of a service offering. Maybe one brand has something that the other brand does not. That can be interesting. I'm a firm believer of having a firm believer in that. It was interesting, Maz, I had somebody ask me, she was like, Grace, I met with this person and she wanted to introduce me to her brand. And my next question to her was, had you heard of that brand? And she said, yes. And then my follow-up question to that was, had she heard of the brand you're aligned with? And she said, no. And I said, that's the point. It's not about aligning necessarily with a household name or a household brand. That's a little tardy to the party. What we're recognizing is aligning with a brand that you can support in creating a household global name. That is the key, is the first mover advantage, where you're talking to people and they've never heard of what you're offering. They've never experienced the product. It fresh to them. Therefore, they're receptive because they are curious about what you have to say about it. What does it do? What are some of the benefits? How does it work? And how soon can they get their hands on it?
We're talking about timing. So you've touched on first to market. Sustainability and growth, Grace, is really important. The age of a business is important as well. So the age of a business in a new territory, but the age of a business. Can you speak into that?
Sometimes what happens is that more established companies are often set in their ways. Okay, this is what we've done. This is how we've done it for decades. Or their plans are structured in such a way, it's so concrete that it's challenging for them to pivot. So for example, the influencer strategy, I'll give you a prime example. Influencers are accustomed to being paid for their efforts. So they're not accustomed to paying to market somebody else's product. They're accustomed to being paid to market someone else's product. So having that influencer or social selling angle where there is no entry fee, so it's not about the dollars to get started, it's about a desire to market a product that they believe in and make that available to their audience. And that brand is drop shipping to their audience and that they're paid as a result of that referral. And what's powerful about brands in our space that have recognized the significance of an influencer strategy is that there's a customer client loyalty aspect to it, meaning that once the influencer, in a traditional sense, once an influencer introduces somebody to a product or a brand, there is a window of opportunity, meaning they get that one sale and that one sale only, or they get this window of time. Usually it's 30, 60, 90 days, and then that's it. Customer then becomes the company's client, and then there's no more pay for that influencer. They've got to go out and find a new audience and find a new person to introduce them to that brand, which creates more heavy lifting without an ongoing residual for that influencer. And so now what brands are looking at is saying, all right, I want to reward these people for this introduction ongoing. And then having the upgrade option. So you've got your free, you're an influencer, you want to market the product, you don't want to pay to market. Great. And you've got one way to earn through commissions and introducing people to the brand. People make a purchase, they're connected to you. Or they can level that up and say, hey, I want to receive all the benefits associated with the social selling or network marketing side of a business, which is leverage. You're introducing a high quality product and a high quality business, and you're reaping the benefits. And so are they as a result of building a business with compliance on your terms.
This is what we're talking about when we're speaking around timing and new businesses to market and those that are ready to be agile. Change is coming in this industry. So let's be aware of when the changes come, rather than us being on our back foot, we're sharing this with you today so that you are on your forward foot and that you are able to make a best decision. So we've spoken about being first to market. We spoke about stability and growth. We spoke about the influencer model as well. So that rather than paying an influencer to market, that they have a free, when you're looking at a compensation plan, that your influencer has a free ability to market that particular brand. Let's talk about timing for you, the listener. Things change in our lives. I was once a young mum, and the work that I was doing in the network marketing needed to be able to speak to my clients at that time and also be able to support myself being a young mum. my children are now grown and I have more ability to travel. Earlier, when you spoke about being more of a digital nomad and travel and working. So when I was looking at brands to align with, I'm looking at the ability to have a global opportunity. Let's talk about the timing and how crucial that is for our listener, the different times in their life.
Yes. What's beautiful about this, I just had a conversation and introduced someone to a brand, and she's 19 going on to law school. And she's very excited about some of the key products and she wants to be able to share them and is asking if she can introduce other influencers. So you've got your 19-year-old student with aspirations of going into law that sees the value of sharing a product or a series of products that she personally believes in and wants to educate others on. And now she has a way to earn income while she's a student. So sometimes what's happening is they only have so much time within a day. You know, the demands of schooling don't necessarily align with a 9 to 5 for most people. Being able to set a business that you are the captain of your own ship, it's quite powerful. And then you've got somebody that's ready to retire and wants to be refired. Right? She's like, I don't want to sit on the couch and just, watch the sun set and watch the sunset on my life. There's still more in me. There's still more that I do, the more value I can bring. How can I serve and impact others and lead others to a life that they only imagined or that they've only dreamed of or they have hoped for? So and then everyone in between. So the timing for our profession, there is a lot of people that are living on a fixed income without fixed expenses. Fixed income, not fixed expenses. There are a lot of people that I actually heard this statistic. One of our drivers in Vegas, I said, "Oh, you must be driving a lot of people that are, not all there together. They're not driving because they've been out partying all night." Well, no, he's like, actually, no, I drive a lot of the people that work and live here. And I said, "Tell me about that." And he said, "Well, I'm also an analyst, a data analyst. And what I've discovered across the United States is that majority, and this could be, I'm certain from on a global standpoint as well, it probably is harsher on a global standpoint. That here in the US, I think it's people have the average person has less than $500 in their bank account, let alone, and usually it's a zero savings account. So what does that mean? There's no car because there's no down payment or there's no ability to pay that. There's no insurance and there's no gas resources for gas and there's no resources for parking. So therefore they're taking, Ubers or other forms of transportation to get to their job to and from. Yes, this is the statistic. And so what if somebody could do a business that had no to minimal upfront investment, that they're not paying for inventory, they're not paying to ship it, they're not paying to design it or to have the marketing, they're not paying for all those, they're not paying for the manufacturing, they're not paying for the proprietary blends, they're not paying for the stamps of approval, they're not paying for the website to process the card, they're not paying for the percentage of the transaction. They're literally introducing someone to a brand. And because they invested their time to do that, they're experiencing an ongoing return. This is the future. This is where the people are saying, all right, there's 24 hours. So how do you scale a business that it's not trading time for dollar? And how do you conduct yourself in a way that it's not, all right, if it's meant to be, it's up to me either. That is where the employee mindset resides. It's okay, if it's meant to be, then it's up to me to make that happen. Well, if it's meant to be, it's meant for us to create a scaling business and to collaborate with people that that can support you to see that through to completion. The timing and the future is now being able to find something and to not wait until you need it, to not wait until you have to have it, to consider alternative ways to generate resources for your family. Be in front of the curve, to be in front of the need, so that you're operating from a position of strength versus operating from a position of desperation, because desperation initiates hesitation. When you're saying this is an option, this is an offering, I want to give you the dignity of choice to decide, versus I need you to buy this. There's a difference. I want to introduce you to something that could have an impact on your health, that could have an impact on your life, could have an impact on your wealth, versus please do this for me. It's not about us. And that's where timing is everything.
And that's where that and will work for you as the listener. If you are already with a network marketing business, we honor you and congratulate you. We both know how incredible this is for you and your family. If you are starting to dive into the possibility of a network marketing business, we would really encourage you to consider your own timing. So the things that Grace has shared with today, consider your own timing. Consider the timing of the organization you're looking at aligning with. What is your why? Why is this important for you now? As Grace was just talking about, for you to be in front of rather than reacting. Looking at also the products. Is this a luxury one-off purchase, or is this a repeat purchase? Are we looking at something there that you're working for the one single sale, or is this a consumable? Can you do both? Is there an and in there as well? The compensation plans we touched on when we spoke about the free influencer plan. Grace, what I'd like you to finish off with before we share with our listeners the other offerings that we've got available for them to help them to choose is, in terms of a compensation plan, what are some of the things that are super important to consider?
Okay. So with a compensation, few considerations is to know it, to know how you are paid. Sometimes people are like, I'm not sure how I'm paid. I'm just working. Well, we may be working in areas that are not necessarily conducive to the goals that we have for our business. So knowing and understanding how you are paid, how does the system work, and then how to maximize it. I very much value what we call a fast start or a sprint form of payout. And what that looks like is, with a sprint, you have something that is bridging you as you're starting in your venture. So sprint payout it's almost like a bonus for a set amount of time in the infancy of your business. So be on the lookout for some form of upfront incentivizing to get you off to a faster start. I am also a fan what we would call a global percentage of, you can call it a revenue share of some sort. So you and the efforts, you have an opportunity to earn shares of all the things that are happening on a global scale within the company. So I always am looking for that. How can you be and be a benefactor? There's two distinctions. Beneficiary is you're receiving a benefit from your efforts in building with the brand and a global business. So those are two important points. Another one is that timely pay. A lot of people don't want to wait for 2 weeks, 4 weeks. They're accustomed to a daily compensation. And that is very, very powerful. So daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly pay. What is the cadence of the pay associated with the brand you're aligned with? How soon are you compensated? Also, is there some type of system that is app friendly? So, is all of this happening? What are the functionalities of the business? Do they have their software in place? Do they have an app, or are they in the process of creating one? Do they have a back office that can be navigated with ease? Do they have a product that there's a demand for? You can have the best possible product, but if people don't have a need for it, you're swimming upstream here. So ensuring that you have a product that works, that's effective, that's proven, and that people will pay for. They have an interest in. Who are you aligned with? Who are your mentors? Who's speaking? Whose voice are you working with? Because we become who we surround ourselves with. So being mindful of mentorship, who we want to work with, that there is global option here. I'm a firm believer that one of may be beyond one country in isolation. So not only in Australia, not only in New Zealand, also you have a global enterprise here where you can be doing business in the US, you can be doing business in Europe, you can be doing business in Mexico, you can be doing business all around the world from the comforts of wherever you reside. And that you don't have to hit a certain level in order to market in a certain brand. That sometimes is something to be aware of as well. I'm a fan of being able to put products in the brick and mortar. So being able to align, maybe you've got product that you want to have in a doctor's office or in a medi spa, or there's a brick and mortar that you would be interested in sharing, hair salons.
The joy of being able to do that is if you are listening to this and you have a bricks and mortar business, look at brands that does not require you to hold a lot of product in your bricks and mortar. Have a look at a plan, have a look at another business that you can drop ship and that you can drop ship globally, so that your business is not only for the location that you live. So if you are a regional business, bricks and mortar business, you can have a global business when you're aligning with an organization that does that.
Absolutely. You brought up such a great point, Maz, because some businesses they're dependent on foot traffic. They're dependent on people coming into their location. And this creates this global possibility without what would normally be the impossible for the average business because of the sheer costs to get your products approved in all of these different markets and countries, as well as your plan. So keep these concepts in mind as you're exploring what is a fit for your life and business. But you brought up another great point with inventory. A lot of brands and even a lot of spas, when they decide to carry a specific traditional product, that traditional product company will say, hey, you've got to have 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 in initial inventory, or a commitment of inventory over a 1-year period of time. Well, that type of, especially for a newer business, that type of investment is massive, where they haven't even opened their doors yet, and they've got to have that commitment. Also, what happens is for those traditional brands, you can introduce them to that brand. They could go to a different location, buy the same brand. You're not going to benefit from it. That other location will benefit from your introduction to the brand. Whereas in our network marketing and social selling space, that's not the case. You introduce them to the brand, that account is attached to yours. Please be sure, if you're considering a brand, that is happening with your brand alignment, that your account is attached to the people that you introduce to the brand. Otherwise, what happens is that you're marketing for a product that they can buy from anyone.
Grace Hao, thank you so much for sharing today. For those that are looking at an and or a everything, for those that are considering a part-time, full-time, incredible lifetime change, consider where you are at this own time in your life. Grace, you have some more resources available for people that are considering network marketing as an and or as a plus?
Yes, absolutely. So Be sure to reach out to either Maz or myself, or even on the You First channel, and connect with us. We'd be happy to share with you the link to those resources so you can have access to them. This is a quick document on considerations around our profession, and as you're exploring the possibilities for yourself and even for people that you care for, we would love to make that available to you. It's a free gift and offer. And also stay tuned, reach out to us and let us know you'd like part 2 of this, because we're doing this as a series of content. We didn't give you all that but we provided, I think, a lot today, and we have more. So stay tuned. Let us know if this was something that struck a chord or had an impact, so that we can make you aware of part 2.
Grace, where do we find you on socials?
So on Instagram, it is I am Grace.Hao.
And myself is Instagram at MazOConnor. Thank you for listening to You First, and this special with Grace Hao on how to choose your next network marketing business.